Greetings, Benjamin J. from BENZTRAINZ with another in the series. Well, a quick follow-up on that rusted tin litho tinder. And pulled it out from under the layout table, blew off the dust. I've taken absolutely no pain or time with this thing. Literally just blew the dust off of it and painted it. And as you see, you now have a usable, runnable tin litho tinder that doesn't look bad. It's far from perfect, but it was absolutely disgustingly unusable before. It was literally covered in rust. Excuse me. But in 20 seconds, you can take some textured paint. As you can see, it's hidden virtually 99% of the damage that was on this tin litho. And this thing was just eaten alive with rust. And so if you paint the locomotive and the tinder, you actually have a matching set. Anyway, I just want to do a quick video on this thing. I took the shell, painted it, dropped it onto a chassis, and as you see, you have a usable, runnable tinder that doesn't look bad. From a foot away, you would never know there was ever anything wrong with this. You know, and this thing was junk. It was literally junk. So it's a really simple, expeditious way to get some usable cars on eBay. You can buy this stuff, usually get this stuff really cheap when it's in this condition. And while it's never going to be perfect, it is at least usable. And like I said, from a foot away, you would never know that this tin litho tinder was that badly damaged. I mean, this thing was literally junk. Came with something that I bought on eBay. But as you see, you wouldn't know it now. It looks more than presentable. All the rust is covered, all the damage is covered. It's black, it's has a matte finish so it doesn't reflect any light. So that really hides all the damage from the rust on this steel. It looks more than good enough considering that it was literally a useless piece of junk when I started. It only took a minute to do this, about 20 seconds to paint it, and then let it dry, and this is the result. As I said, it's far from perfect, but it is a usable tinder. And there's a tinder that is virtually identical to it, of course. And this one is in fairly decent condition. This one, however, was literally junk. And you've lost the logo on it, but even so, you now have a usable, runnable car that looks more than respectable. Like I said, from a foot away, you would never know this thing was that badly damaged by rust. I mean, this thing was junk. That's all you could say about it. It's been sitting under the layout table for 6 months, longer than that, very likely. And it came with a locomotive that I bought on eBay that was also covered in rust. And when I get these things in this condition, I usually just throw them under the layout table and use them for sheet metal or parts or pieces or whatever. But I just wanted to show you how simple it is to make these things look at least presentable. So if you don't have the money to spend, or if you don't want to spend a lot of money on this, you can get some real junk cars in just a very few minutes. You can make them look more than respectable. You know, once this is completely dry, this is actually going to look quite good. This is, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour since it's been painted, something like that. And same paint that I used on the Mercury itself. And while it's far from perfect, it is at least presentable. There's no rust showing, there's no damage showing, as you can see. Far from perfect, but it gave you a usable, runnable car that cost you virtually nothing. And you can restore these things in 20 seconds. Literally, a light spray of textured paint will hide a lot of damage. And as you see, this is actually running well. It looks nice. That being a relative term. It looks more than respectable. No one would ever know that a half hour ago this was a rusted relic that has been sitting under the layout table for the last 6 months or a year or something like that. It was just literally useless. But as you see, it looks more than respectable. It's a usable piece of rolling stock. That's the neat thing about it. So anyway, I just wanted to do a quick video. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email. BENZTRAINZ@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for watching.